Hello, welcome to Braxton Family. This is Braxton Dad. My name is Mark, welcome. And today we're going to do a review of the DJI Mini 3 Pro. Super excited to bring this review to you since I've had this drone quite a while now, a couple of weeks, had quite a few test flights. You may remember I did a little review or an unboxing of the DJI Mini 2. As I mentioned in that video, I wasn't certain that I was going to keep that one because this one was on its way. As soon as I got this one, decision was made, put a little bit of money into this one now with some accessories and whatnot, and it is exactly what I wanted it to be. So today I'm going to discuss a little bit of my thoughts and my views on this drone specifically. We'll see what's going on. To preface, I am a brand new drone pilot, if you want to call it that. I'm new to drones, new to the world of drones. So I was really excited to see how it was to fly these things and get them in my hands and play around with them a little bit. Having got two drones in my hands now, and I also did a short about the little mini toy drones you can get just to kind of practice with. Having had a couple of weeks with all these things now, I can tell you getting into the drone world is fun. There's a lot to learn, especially when you're trying to pair that with photography and filmmaking and put the two together. On our channel, I have put a bunch of videos up just of kind of practice stuff of me going on a mini hike pretty close to where we live, getting some different types of shots and putting them all together, editing, all that fun stuff. And then just stuff from my wife and I and the kids going to the park. It's been fun, it's been interesting getting to use these things and to learn, especially again the photography side of things, because the main thing with this drone is the camera is very good, at least in my opinion, as a beginner in all aspects. But compared to the Mini 2, the camera is so much better. I looked through the footage of the Mini 2 compared to the Mini 3 Pro, and there's just a world of difference. The features you can do, the different shots you can get, the quick shots, so much different. So this is the guy right here. I've just really enjoyed using it. The user interface, I did end up getting the display into the remote. It makes it so much easier just to turn on and to get going with the drone, especially if you want to get a decent shot or a time lapse. This thing is just incredible. So that remote paired with that drone is just a really good combination. I have bought a few different accessories since I initially got the drone. The most important one I think that I got, well, I got this with the pack. So this is fantastic, 3 batteries, charging. These are all the ones that keep the drone on 249 grams or at 249 grams. Biggest, I guess, investment I made was getting the bigger battery. Putting this in, flying the drone, you get so much more time. I got a funny story in a moment I'll tell you about batteries and what happens. I use this one first, I charge this one first, go out and about, fly great, and then if I need to top up or do a longer flight, I'll put one of these in. And there's only one time I went through all 4 batteries, and that was when I did my little mini hike. I used the biggest battery first and then went through and changed a few times, just because I was playing around with so much and getting so many different shots that I wanted to experiment and use the drone to its full capacity while I was out on a hike in the mountains. The battery, incredible. If I could have 4 of them, it would be great. It'd probably be a little bit overkill because you get so much out of this one, and then the other ones are great. And as soon as this one comes out, it's on charge, and then I put another one in and away you go. So far, fantastic. The battery is the biggest recommendation I have. Flying it, super easy. Again, as a beginner, flying this drone, just very intuitive. Again, I've been practicing with them little mini toy drones in the house, all the different features, the safety modes. That's another reason why I wanted to go with the DJI Mini 3 Pro as opposed to just the Mini 3 or the 2, which is the obstacle avoidance. There's a few times as a beginner getting to learn that I probably got a little bit too close for comfort when it came to the obstacle avoidance. Now the downside to that is if you put it in sport mode, it turns off. It's great, sport mode is fantastic, but when you forget it's on and you're a beginner, when it's coming at you and it's coming fast and you don't realize and the obstacle avoidance isn't kicking in and you're trying to stop it and slow it down and you're like, too close. So that happened a couple of times, but the obstacle avoidance is fantastic, just keeps you good. It is fun to turn it off and to go in sport mode and just zip around. I've done it a few times at a park where it's just flat, there's nothing around, and just flying the drone around. It gives a little bit of an idea and a perspective of what a FPV drone might be. But the Mini 3 Pro has a lot of professional video options, which I'm still getting to use and to get familiar with. There's a lot of YouTube videos on how to set up the camera. Everyone I watched online talked about ND filters and how it makes your footage look so much better. Now again, as a beginner, it's something I'm getting familiar with. One person did say which I think is probably really good advice. Forget about ND filters, just go fly, just get some footage, just, you know, get familiar with your drone and whatnot, and then start worrying about ND filters later, which I think is great advice. I did get ND filters. I've been using them as best I can with the knowledge that I have, but sometimes my footage came out a little bit off, but I'm playing around with it. I'm getting used to it. It is one of them things. It is a learning curve. The photography on there, the videography, the shots you can get, the automation, the track me stuff is great. It is where it is. It's not perfect. A few times I got in a position, if you get too close to the drone, it just freaks out and there's no where you're at. All the shots, the master shots, I'm going to put a bunch of footage over the top of me talking right now of the different types of shots I was able to get with this, with really a click or two of buttons. If you really just want to get some great shots, and if you are new to photography, you want the drone to do its thing, this drone is just fantastic for that. I really appreciate that. I do want to learn. I do want to get more efficient myself. I have been doing a lot of manual stuff where I haven't been relying on the automated settings and the automated functions. It is just such a fun drone to fly, to take videos with, time lapses. So a little side note, I got this from Costco online. Couldn't find it anywhere in store, so I had to get delivered here. A great thing about it, literally the package came with everything I wanted and everything I didn't want. So it did come with 3 batteries. It did come with the set to charge it. So it did come with this stuff. It didn't come with a bag, which I wasn't too concerned about. Basically came with the essentials, to not the full Fly More kit, because I, again, didn't need the bag, but it did come with enough. There's a little top tip right there. Look on the Costco website, because the price there and what you get with it is a fantastic deal. Some accessories I did get for the drone outside of what came with it. So if we've got the drone, don't know if that worked. We'll soon see. We got the prop guards. Got these on Amazon. It actually came with a kit, so you get the prop guards, you get the landing gear. Hopefully that worked. Landing gear. I put it on once, flew with it once. That's about it. I don't think I'll ever use it. It came with what I got from Amazon, but I mean, if I'm ever in snowy conditions or certain conditions, it may work. There you go. I should have probably clicked to get that off, but there you go. Another thing that I really wanted was the little strap that goes around to keep everything in place. These things, I was using one of my wife's hair ties. Yeah, fine, it worked, but this thing actually keeps everything in place. It's got some little grooves that line up with the bottom. That was what I wanted, and really the prop guards. So back to the prop guards. They work. Flown it inside my garage just to test them out, bumped it up against a wall. Perfect. I heard that the regulations are changing at some point where you should be able to fly in and fly near people. But to do so, you do need prop guards. The main reason I got them is if I ever want to fly inside, and there is one circumstance I was doing some footage where I wanted to go through a doorway. It was basically I was outside of a building, went out, came back, and I wanted to go through the door. I tried it without the prop guards, and as a new pilot, the issue was I couldn't quite tell where my blades were, so I was kind of guessing. Okay, let's put these prop guards on, put them on, and you can tell exactly where your blades are. So obviously you're not going to hit anything, but you can see exactly where you're at, so you can eye a gap and thread it through with more confidence. That was the main benefit of having these on. And then I flew inside and was fairly confident I wasn't going to do any damage to anything or the drone. But these just give you a little bit of confidence that you know where your blades are, you know you're not going to hit anything. Other than that, I haven't really used them. I really like the idea that I can fly this in that circumstance. I'm probably missing something, but the last accessory I got was a little lanyard for the remote. Comes with these little deals, and it just makes it so much easier. When I was on my little mini hike and I was taking some footage, one of my issues was I was in a rocky area. I was sat on a little shelf, a little rock above the city at the top of this hike, and I needed to do stuff. I needed to change batteries, needed to do stuff with my phone, with my GoPro, but I couldn't put this anywhere. Well, I could put it on a rock, and that's what I did with it, but I didn't feel too confident with putting this down on a rock. At that point, same day I went on Amazon, bought this. Feel kind of a little bit goofy wearing it around my neck with this thing, but it just frees up your hands so you can do stuff. If you're doing some type of drone shots, having the lanyard around, you know, you could just swing it around or hide it or whatever. I found when I was on my hike and I didn't have it, I could just hold this by my side as I was getting certain shots, and you couldn't really see the remote in the shot. So the negative is it's in your shot. You know, it's around your neck, it's clearly there, it is where it is. The positives are it does free up your hands when you're doing stuff. So when I do a hike again, yeah, for sure I'll take it and I'll have it on the lanyard, but the downside is it's in your shots. So I mentioned I had a little bit of a story about the drone and something that happened the other day, and there was 2 incidences that happened the other day with the drone, and I forgot the first one, but the second kind of lost the drone. And I say kind of, it essentially fell out the sky, and it was completely my fault. So I had it up in the backyard and I had it up overhead, and I was doing a time lapse where it was following a track. It was looking at the sunset, looking at the mountains, and it was following a track, looking at the mountains but going sideways. So I could still see the drone, and I knew it was about, let's just say, a minute or two out, but I set a really long time for this time lapse to go on, and I was looking at the time, looking at the battery life, and I had the bigger battery in. So as it was going, I'm like, okay, by the time it's done, I'll have about 3 minutes left on the battery to just be able to spin it around and get it back to my backyard and down. The alert comes up saying, return to home. Hit cancel, I've got about a minute left on the time lapse. By the time it finishes, I turn it around, start heading it back to my backyard. The drone tells me emergency landing because it didn't have enough battery left. And at that point, I had about 2 minutes. The drone didn't like that, and it actually forced landed itself. And as it's going down, there's a neighborhood right behind us, which is a 55 and over community, nice houses. I was over their recreational pool. Going down. I've got no control of this. I think it's going in the pool. I think it's going to go in their gated community in their fence. Got a little bit of control over the drone. I don't know what the settings are and how it all works, but I got a little bit of control, and I thought I could probably still get it home as well. Got a little bit closer, it ended up just going down, and then just last minute, it's going in like a yard. I have a little bit of control in and get it into a public road. So it lands in a public street, and at that point, I said to my wife, I gotta go, the drone just ditched, and I gotta go get it. And she thought I was gonna go hop over some fences and jump over some walls and get myself shot or something. No. I went to the front gate of the community, said, hey, my drone just ditched. I could see exactly where it was, and it was literally 30 seconds into the community. I was able to get enough control to get it onto a public street. The security guard was concerned that I was in private property, and it wasn't, other than it was a private community. It was in a public street. I could see where it was. He got my ID, 5 minutes, he let me in, and just went in, picked up the drone. It was luckily, it was on a public street. It was about, I don't know, 4 or 5 feet from the sidewalk. If a car had gone by and not seen it, yeah, it would have got crushed. But picked it up, it was perfectly fine, not damaged. So there's my beginner's lesson in not having your battery go so low. I knew I had enough time, had the drone give me the full 2 minutes or so to be able to get it back. I would have had, I don't know, a minute and a half, 1 minute to spare. The drone didn't like that. The drone, for its own precautions, said, I don't just want to dive into, lose power and drop out the sky. I want to land safely and use the power that I had left to land safely. So that happened. That was a learning lesson. And the other one just came back to me. We were in Red Springs. I put a few videos up on our channel about Red Springs, and I was flying low to the ground in sport mode. And there was like a few reeds that were up in the grass, and I hit a reed and it tumbled and landed softly in the reeds. Crash, fine, it is where it is. So I just ran out, got it, it was perfectly fine. So in the space of 2 days, I had a little crash, if you want to call it that, nothing crazy, nothing damaged. The big one was it dropped out of the sky. But it landed safely, safety feature, I like that. Now I know what the threshold is and to come back a little bit sooner. And I said to my wife, this time lapse better being worth almost losing my drone, and it wasn't. I'll put it up, actually. It was like 10, 20 seconds long. You can tell me if it was worth potentially losing a drone over. I don't think it was. I looked at it and it was kind of cool. I was hoping to get a better shot of the sunset, and it didn't happen. So there you go. That's my review of the drone. I've covered the accessories. I probably missed a few, but I really, really love this drone. It's such a great asset to have. It's a great little investment so that we can take some great family pictures. We're gonna have a wedding in Florida in December. So I'm so excited to get the drone over to Florida. My sister-in-law and future brother-in-law are getting married. They already live there. Chet already has a drone. He needs to get his up and get some great photography because I'm pretty jealous of where he lives. They live in the Keys, they live in Paradise, and getting a drone up over the water and just getting some incredible shots. So that's coming in December for us. I wanted him to get up and get some stuff so I can kind of see what he's getting and what we can do when we get there. And beyond that, it's just something great to have in a photography arsenal for videography and photography. I'm definitely going to get my license so I can do some commercial stuff and potentially make some money with it. That's not the goal, but so far it's just been so fun just getting this thing in the air, getting some great shots, really utilizing it for the family, and the kids love it. My nieces and nephews, anytime we have any kids around and the drone goes up, they're just enamored by it. So It is a great little deal. So obviously I highly recommend the DJI Mini 3 Pro. I think it's a fantastic drone. I really want to get my hands on a Skydio drone. I really want to get my hands on the Avata, the FPV drone, because I want to see what it's like to have, you know, the goggles on, immersed in flying and having a little bit more control over the drone and be able to get into tight gaps and stuff. So that's two drones I want to get my hands on and fly around. But so far, my drone, the one that I purchased that I really enjoy and I think was a great purchase for our family, so far has been a great investment. I'm just excited to get some more incredible photography, get some mountains, get some beaches, get some other great stuff that this thing is capable of. So with that said, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching my review of the DJI Mini 3 Pro. I'm Mark, this is Brax on Family. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a great day. Bye.